Peace, family. It's your brother Marc Lamont Hill. Welcome to the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel. We are here, sadly, on day 132 of Israel's war on Gaza. And as always, we're going to continue to give you updates about the latest development, the latest numbers, the latest possibilities, the latest policies, the latest promises, all the things. And we're going to do that to the best of our ability every single day, because mainstream media is not covering it. Corporate media is not giving the true data. And as a result, we have to do this thing ourselves as observers, as citizens, as policymakers, as politicians, as activists, as supporters. And that's what we're going to do right now. As we come into the room, everybody, I'd love for you to drop in your location if you want to. Give me your city, give me your state, give me your country. Let me know where you're coming in from so we can give you that shout out. I see Iram in here, who is not only the first one in the room, but also Iram is a channel member. So shout out to you, Iram. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We got so many people in here. I feel you, Maggie. I'm about to lose my mind too. Braji Khadija coming in from the Netherlands. SS, come on in here. Letitia, wa alaikum salam. Letitia Muhammad writing in. Everybody, thank you so much for writing in. We got a few other shouts out. Alana Abul Hawa coming in from the District of Columbia. Damon Lynch from Cincinnati. Michelle in Wash. If one thing gonna happen, Michelle in Wash gonna be in the room supporting us, man. I appreciate you so much, family. Rachel Edwards in here from Maryland, also known as Maryland. Herman Gill. Shout out to you. Shout out for being a Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel member. Same thing with Bullet the Bunny, who's always a ride. I appreciate you, Bullet. Always good to see you. MLK for Equity from San Diego. Mike Go Left from Jacksonville, Florida. Thank all y'all for being here. I'm going to shout a few people more out maybe a little later, but C-Shot, I got to shout you out from Northern VA because you are a channel member. Same thing with Claudia, another channel member. So appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Let's talk about some of the things that are going on here. We have on day 132, not signs of progress, not signs of joy, not signs of ceasefire. None of that seems to be happening. Instead, the numbers keep piling up. 28,000, more than 28,000 Palestinians have been killed in Gaza since August 7th now. When you look at the numbers, when you look at the death toll, when you look at the number of people who have been killed, we're looking at more than 28,000. That number is stunning on its own. When you add the more than 68,000 people who have been injured, those numbers get even more devastating. And what we've seen in the last 24 hours, what we've seen in the last day, has only made things worse. It's only intensified the belief that this is a full-fledged genocide. Belief is almost too soft a word because it implies that we somehow are uncertain or that it's a suspicion. It's not a suspicion. I'll give you a couple of examples just to give you context. Last night at Nasser Hospital, if anybody doesn't know Nasser Hospital, Nasser Hospital is a hospital in Khan Yunis. Khan Yunis is a hospital in the southern part of Gaza. And as you know, people have been forced to flee from the north of Gaza to the south. In recent weeks, particularly in Rafah, the number of Palestinians in the south has grown tenfold, literally tenfold. A city like Rafah is supposed to have about 250,000 people. Instead, it has about, I won't say tenfold, but it has about somewhere between 1.5 and 1.8 million people there right now. So we're talking maybe 7-8-fold. And that is because the Israeli government has evacuated the north, has forced the people to evacuate the north. And they said, go to Rafah, go to Rafah. Rafah is the safe zone. That's where you can be safe. Go to Khan Yunis, you'll be safe. And they go to these places and then they evacuate those places as well. They siege those places. They besiege those places. And Nasser Hospital is one of those perfect examples where you have people inside the hospital, thousands of people who need medical care, people who are ill. Some are critically ill, some are terminally ill, some are simply in intense condition, but if they don't get treatment, it's going to get worse. Also, on the other side of that hospital wall are people who need to get in to Nasser Hospital from Khan Yunis, and they can't get in because why? There's Israeli troops everywhere, there's gunfire everywhere. And so last night, we could literally see with our own eyes dozens of people leaving Nasser Hospital because they were told to get out. Those people who left didn't leave because they were physically capable of leaving. They didn't leave because they were well enough to leave. They left because they were told that if they didn't leave, something bad would happen. But there are still thousands of people inside of the hospital right now as we speak. And the Israeli army is entering the hospital. When they enter the hospital, what do you hear? Heavy tank fire, machine gun fire. They are literally opening up machine guns and tanks in a hospital. Now, the argument is, of course, you can't do that. You can't just open fire in a hospital. And that's right, Sophia. They absolutely did the same thing in Al Shifa Hospital. And they made the same argument in Al Shifa Hospital. You know what they said? They said, well, Hamas is inside. They said, Hamas is inside. They said that their attack was, quote, precise and limited, and that it was based on credible information that Hamas fighters were hiding inside the facility and keeping captives there. Well, we have yet to see one bit of evidence that there was a Hamas contingent in there, that there were Hamas fighters in there, that there were captives or hostages in there. And yet they ordered the evacuation, because when you order an evacuation of a hospital, you disrupt things. People can't get in, people can't get out. Everything is going on. And the army made a very public statement. They said, Hamas continues to conduct military activities in the hospital. There is no substantiated claim that this has happened. Now, here's what the military also said. They said that there is a secure route for civilians to exit. In other words, doctors, you can stay. Patients, if you're really messed up, you can stay. And then they're using drones and loudspeakers to scream to people, get out of the hospital, take the secure route, take the safe route to freedom, take the safe route to safety. Shout out to Imogen. Thank you so much for this generous contribution. I appreciate you so much. But here's the thing, because that sounds great, right? We're just trying to get Hamas. Sick people can stay, doctors can stay, everybody else just get out. But there are witnesses, Palestinian witnesses. Yes, Palestinian witnesses count. Also, people from Doctors Without Borders. The NGO said that people inside the hospital are afraid to leave because people keep getting shot on the way out. So even though they say it's a safe route, people getting shot on the way out, allegedly, reportedly. Also, we know for a fact that people have been shot inside the hospital. A doctor's been shot inside the hospital. A nurse has been shot inside the hospital. You're talking about thousands of people in this place, and a few dozen left because they were afraid. They were afraid. You have 400 people in this hospital right now at this moment who are in critical condition. People say, well, it's all lies. It's all propaganda. Why do you believe Hamas? Why do you believe Hamas? Thank you, Bullet the Money. Let's reach out. I definitely want to talk to one of these surgeons. Well, we would love to believe a third party. We would love to believe someone else. I would absolutely love to get independent confirmation. But here's the problem. Israel won't let them in. The WHO, the World Health Organization, said that Israel has denied them access to Nasser Hospital since January 29th. So they're saying Hamas is in there, military installations are in there, terrorist networks are in there, warmongers are in there, hostage takers are in there, hostages are in there. But guess what? Every time they try to go in to verify this, they get nothing. According to Dr. Ahmed El Mughrabi, who was the head of plastic surgery at Nasser Hospital, he says in a recorded message, the Israeli army sent a hostage with cuffed hands into the hospital, asking him to tell us that we should evacuate. And when people started really evacuating, they opened fire and they shot at the people and they killed the hostage they had sent inside as well. Now, I can't verify this, but Dr. Ahmed El Mughrabi says it. I have no reason to believe that it's not true. And again, if you're saying it's not true, Israeli army, send someone in who can make a different case. We're also hearing that thousands of people, including the people who are of critical condition, are being stopped at checkpoints and delayed at checkpoints. People say, well, you have to be able to stop at checkpoints, Mark. What if they're terrorists? Okay, let's say you're right. They're being delayed and detained there. People are dying because of this. There's just no getting around it. So I'm not going to keep y'all long, but I needed y'all to know what's going on, because the biggest news of the day is absolutely that. But it's not the only news. According to Al Jazeera, at least 11 people were killed in an intense bombardment in Nusrat refugee camp in the central part of the Gaza Strip. So again, people saying, well, go north, go back to central Gaza, right? That's what they said, right? That's what they said. They said, just go to the central part of Gaza now. Well, even if you could get there, right? Nusrat is pretty far from where people are with no car and no safe corridor. But even if they go, people are getting shot there. They're bombarding refugee camps. It wasn't just Jabalia. Nusrat is also there. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about the global analysis of this. UN Nations Relief Chief Martin Griffiths warned that the 1.4 million Palestinians who have sought shelter in Rafah might be forced into Egypt if Israel launches its planned military operation against the border town. Again, everyone can see the obvious. We can pretend it ain't happening, but everyone can see the obvious. They are pushing Palestinians into Egypt. They said, oh, go to the south, go to Rafah. Oh, go across the border, get safety in another country. That's what happened in 1948. That was the Nakba. That was the Nakba. That was the great catastrophe. And what we're seeing right now is another Nakba. They're taking hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions, and relocating them from their homes into other places. Quick history lesson. Lots of the people you see in Gaza right now didn't start in Gaza. They started in 1948. They started inside of Israel, inside the 48 lands, and were depopulated from those villages and placed into places like the Gaza Strip. And now they're being depopulated from Gaza and sent to Egypt. This is This is history at play here. Y'all see what's happening? Y'all see how it's happening? This isn't a mystery. They're creating impossible conditions so people have to leave, and then they'll just never be allowed back in. And then they'll say you left on your own. Real quick before we go, Israel arrested at least 20 Palestinians in the West Bank, including a child and a former prisoner. That's according to the Palestinian Commission of Detainees and Ex-Detainees Affairs, as well as the Palestinian Prisoners Society. The arrest took place in Tulkarem, which we've talked a lot about in the last month or two, the city, not the camp. Bethlehem, Khalil or Hebron, Nablus, Jenin, and Jerusalem. The total number of arrests since October 7th now stands at 7,040. So Palestinians are getting killed in the West Bank. Settlers are harassing them in the West Bank. They are being arrested in the West Bank. They are being completely mistreated in every part of historic Palestine. The genocide is happening in the Gaza Strip, but the crisis is happening all over. I said, who cares about 1948? Both people were born there now. We must stop all the violence. Now, well, we care about 1948 because that's the origin of a justice claim, number one. We care about 1948, number two, because it shows a pattern. People were kicked out in 1948. 700,000+ people were kicked out. People are being kicked out now. That's why we care about 1948. 1948 is the root. And we can go deeper than 1948, but certainly since 1948, we've seen what's happened here. This is absolutely, 1948 is absolutely relevant. We're not going to pretend that it's not. Blunted Reality, thank you so much, Blunted Reality, for joining the channel. We appreciate you. I appreciate everybody. I appreciate everybody who's joining Marc Lamont Hill official channel. Thank you all for the love. Thank you all for the support. I can't tell you how grateful I am. How many settlers have been arrested? Hawata was burned down again, and there's video footage. That's a great question. To my knowledge, very few settler arrests have happened. To my knowledge, there's been almost none. Not say none, but very few. Very few settlers have been arrested, even in U.S. policy. Right? There's a new executive order, about this very matter, right? Saying that settlers can't inflict violence. They never could, though, legally. It's never, But the Israeli government, and frankly, even the Palestinian Authority, isn't really interested in stopping settler violence. Not as a practical matter. That's a whole other thing. But Hawata has been pogromed. Hawata has been destroyed, very much so. Drawer number 6. And for those who know, Hawata is inside of the governorate, the governorate of Nablus, and we've seen awful conditions there. Any update on the medical boat U.S. was going to send? The U.S. was supposed to send a medical boat. I don't have the update on that. I will get the update on that. I'll let you know the next time we go up. But to my knowledge, no humanitarian assistance has been provided through that boat, because there's two problems. One, the political will to make it happen. And the second is access. Most boats, certainly almost all UN boats, have not made it to their destination. So I don't know if U.S. boats would have better luck or not. But we need to talk about that. Any other questions or comments before we roll out? Shout out to Double H, by the way. Thank you for joining the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel. I love it when people become members. Thank you so much. We are so grateful. So grateful. All right, family. It looks like that's everybody. So I want to tell you how much I appreciate y'all, how much I love y'all. If you have more comments or questions, always send them in. We'll touch base next time. Until then, hit the like button if you feel the conversation. Let those algorithms know that you're rocking with us. Hit subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, just hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers by tomorrow. By tomorrow, the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel should be at 100,000. So tell your people whatever you can. I appreciate the efforts to get us there. I see someone else saying the same thing. Super Anonymous said the same thing. Let's get that 100K ASAP. That's a big number around these parts, man. It's only been 4 months. So I am grateful for everybody who is tried to make that happen. Let's do that. Also hit that join button. Some of y'all are subscribers, but you haven't joined yet. If you can just hit that join button, man. And even whether it's a bronze membership or a diamond membership, there are perks and benefits that are listed on the site. But beyond the perks and the benefits, the other reason to do it is because you allow us to expand the channel. You allow us to build and to grow the channel. Somebody said, I hope you do an open-ended QA session at some point with us, Mark. I would love that. Let's do that soon, yo. Let's try and do it maybe either tonight or tomorrow night. Just a Q&A, because I want to make sure that y'all have your questions answered, and that this really feels like an intellectual community and not just a place where I run my mouth, but a place where we rock out. And of course, y'all, if y'all want to drop something into our coffers, I love that word, coffers, you can go to Cash App MLHTV. That's $ MLHTV. And when you drop something in the Cash App, it goes directly to us. Nobody else takes a cut, and it allows us to build the platform, expand our reach, build that studio, do more reporting, create more videos. So much going on. I'd love for y'all to be a part of it. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I'll see y'all later. Peace.